So I think this video is kind of a little early, but I think I got enough and used it enough to make a review now. I was gonna do it, a couple months down the road when we really have, the tank really established and just, we've been maintaining it for a while. But I kind of wanted to separate the videos out, so think I'm gonna make it now. And that's the review on the Planet Plus, Finnex Planet Plus SE. And honestly, it's one of the better lights out there. When it comes to Planet tanks, there's always really good lights. You got the more premium brands like Kessel and Twin Star. You can always get those, and people always don't want to spend a ton of money, even though this light is still on the higher side, for some people, but it's definitely very affordable, especially if you're doing a tank like I am. Well, this tank is a little on the high tech side, but if you're looking for a light that that can grow plants and you'll be okay with it, this is definitely the light. Now people go back and forth between the original Finnex Planet Plus and the SE, and now they actually got a CC, which is an updated version of this one, which I'm gonna buy that one on my next tank. I do, which will be basically the upgrade for this tank, but that's down the road, so you don't have to worry about that. So the difference is the SE has the more red lights. And what the red lights do is give more photosynthesis, and that brings out the photosynthesis in the plants, and basically helps the plant grow a lot better than it would, without the red. And so, and it's not just a red light. I forget what they call it. Yeah, the deep red, the true 660 deep reds LEDs, and I'm not big on like light stuff, but I guess this type of red, it helps the photosynthesis. It's different than your average red, so it's not like you can go to your normal. Say if you got like a fluval like on this tank, it's not like you can just turn that light to red and then it magically will make your plants grow better. It doesn't really work like that. There's a certain type of red that there's a special type of red they used in this light to really bring out the plant's photosynthesis. And to me, it definitely works so far. It keeps the plants growing. This tank isn't, it is not running CO2, so I can't really see the full effect of what this tank can really do. But I can definitely get enough of what this light can do. And I've had it long enough to at least review it and tell you everything about it. So, um, so I guess just off the box, some of the stuff that I don't. So water resistant, meaning it could take some splashes. No, it is not waterproof, so you can't dunk it in the water. You'll probably electrocute yourself. But it can, take splashes from or evaporation, stuff like that. So obviously it got the 24/7 mode. It got all your sun, lightning modes, all the stuff that we don't really use that much, but it's kind of cool to have it. It's just extra features. You can't complain. And then it just says it has super sleek design, which it does. It fits really well in a rimless tank like this, which you want kind of a sleek light to go with the sleek tank. So I don't know. This is the 24-inch, so I think it's 32 watts, if I'm right. Yeah. Um, yeah, 32 watts, and light bulb is 32 watts, and then I think the whole thing's 25 watts. I'm not sure what the difference between that is, but obviously it's aluminum. This entire front part, and then what's cooler about the SE is that it got these new stands. And this is probably the coolest part out of all of it. Is last time they had the regular Finnexes had something like that. You might recognize that. Well, these have these taller stands, so it keeps the light up way taller. Probably an extra. It keeps the light, I would say, about. Let's check this. If we measure it from the tank, let's turn this around. So you're gonna get basically, it's gonna stay above 4 inches above the tank, basically, if you have it, fully extended. And it makes it way nicer just so your light's not hitting so close to the water, and it's just a headache when water's splashing. At least it's raised higher, and that will lower the cause for algae. So even though it's higher and you're gonna get less power, it won't make a difference that much. But it's better to keep it up higher, and I really like that feature, and that's one of the main reasons I got the this light. So for the controller, I actually got the Fluid. This is the Fluid one, but this is the Finnex one. If you have the Finnex, it's basically the same remote. You know, it just got a little bit of detail different, but the buttons are basically all the same. The 24/7 mode. I don't use the 24/7 mode because, you know, just like everybody else does, it's not really customizable, and the light's basically on for like 20 hours of the day, and that's just way too long for the, even though it's not as bright at some parts, but it's just, that's 20 hours long. That's just way too long. And the new SE is actually customizable, so when I get that one, we'll play with that and see what that is. But 24/7 mode, I don't really, I don't mess with this, so I just keep it on the max setting. But I only have this light on for 5 to 6 hours every day, so that's, a big reason why, I don't get much algae even though it's on max. So we turn the tank on. I have, so basically what I did was wrap the cord around, and then it comes with Velcro. So I actually have a Velcro if I can turn it on. So I have it wrapped around here just to, keep it organized, and then so you can see a piece of Velcro on it. So it just makes it a little more organized. And as you can see, it's super bright. I mean, there's not, this is basically the perfect brightness. It's super bright. And I don't really know why you'd want much brighter unless you have high-tech plants, but this is like the perfect amount of brightness you need. And and it grows plants perfectly fine. So obviously, and then you might see these little cardboard pieces. I actually slipped them in there so they didn't scratch up my glass. Not that it would, but I slipped something behind there just so when the screws click onto the glass, it's not hurting anything. So if I'd probably recommend doing that just so you don't hurt your tank. You spend a lot of money on this stuff, so you want to keep it nice. So basically, in one of the other features, it doesn't work good on this tank because it's kind of rimless, so it's kind of slippery. So I can't really move it that well. But basically, with this thing, it can move back and forth, and it can actually move like all the way back. But I can't really do that on this. See how it moves? I don't want to do it that much because it, kind of messes up how I have it positioned on this tank. But if you have like a more like that type of tank with some trim on it, then yeah, you'll be able to move that pretty well. I don't move it back and forth, so I just keep it really stiff and stuff. So, but that is a nice feature to have, move it back and forth, just a little extra something that makes it cool. So on the max setting, you can see the red and whites right here. But see how see the middle row of lights? All down this middle? Well, the middle lights on the max setting, I don't know if I don't drop this thing. Yeah, you won't be able, but the middle lights are actually 3 different lights. The middle lights have green, blue, and red in the middle. You can kind of see it, but there's actually 3 different lights in that one middle section. So, there's red, white pattern, and then the middle row is basically there's 3 different LEDs on the middle row. So right now there's green, blue, red, white, and then the deep reds. So there's like 5 different colors shining right now. And that's really gonna help the plants grow, having those multiple colors. Because if you're ever in school or in a science class, you learn about how different colors affects different plant growth. Well, that is true, and you know one color will help. There's always that one color that will make a plant grow a lot better. But basically, when you add all the colors all together, it gives this effect. I don't really know how to explain it unless I really looked it up again. But having all the colors at once like that just really affects the plant growth in a good way. So, and you might see that on a lot of saltwater tanks too, how they have like multiple colors, and you're wondering why there's like 20 different colors on shining down the light. Well, it just helps, same thing. It's kind of helping the corals grow a lot better, having those different colored lights, spectrums, and I'm not that big into lights and explaining that stuff, but you can kind of research that yourself if you're really interested in how that works. Kind of how plant growth works with lights and all that stuff. But basically, all the features, I can't really go through all of them. I don't want this video being so long, but basically you can choose any colors just like anyone. You can mix colors, so you can put green and red and blue, and then turn up the red and turn up the blue, and you'll make purple. All that stuff. You can mix colors, make any combination you want, and then obviously you hold this down for 5 seconds to save the settings, and then you got all these, which is thunder or not. Oh, here you go. So, well, this ain't thunder. This is cloud. This is thunder. Shiny day, which is kind of like a red, or looks like more of like a sunset or morning. And this is moonlight. And then the rest are just the 24/7 mode. When you push the 24/7, you basically push in what time it is. So I would wait until say it's 11 a.m. right now. Well, I would wait until it turns 12 and then push the 12, and then then it'll cycle, and then it's basically on its own timer. It'll basically turn off at a certain time. But obviously the 24/7 mode on this one isn't the best, so I wouldn't use it. But or you push demo, and it basically shows you what 24/7 would look like throughout the day. So basically, it kind of does like a speed through of what the 24/7 mode would look like in like 30 seconds. So it's really cool. We can kind of watch that, change colors, and you know. And then this is when it turns off. It'll go completely dark for about 4 hours, but then it'll kick back on at sunset. See, it's all red, and then this will be about 10 o'clock, and then this is about lunchtime, the brightest day of the day. Yeah, so this is full brightness right now, and this is basically the sun going down right now. Down. And then the blue, this is basically nighttime. So we'll turn it back on max. But yeah, I mean, if you guys got any other questions about this slide, definitely let me know. I've played with it a lot. Um, there might be a couple things that you might have questions about, how to work the remote. If you want to know how to do something, I definitely know how to do that. I've worked with remotes like that all the time, so I can basically teach you how to do anything on that. So if you want to know any of that stuff, put that down in the comments, and I'll put a link down in the description on where you can buy this light. It's actually cheaper now that the CC is out, so this is actually like $20 off. They lowered the price, so I paid $100 for this. Now it's about $80. So if you want this light, I would get it right now. I don't think the price is going back up, but it is cheap right now just in case. But I'll leave a link in the description if you do want this light or check it out. I'll put a link to the CC one too if you just want to check that out. Because it's basically the same light, just customizable. But other than that, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.